Greetings, it is the TonicMan, and Happy New Year, everybody. Let's make sure 2023 is going to be really a great year for all of us. It can be a great year for all of you, and we can make sure that happens. And do you know how? Because you are going to be able to help everybody that you know have better health this year. It's time that we all put our shoulder to the wheel and start getting people well again. One more year has gone by, and you've all heard the news about the health of America. It just seems to get worse and worse. No matter what kind of medicine is practiced, no matter what is done, people just get sicker and sicker. I've been talking to people for decades, and every year everybody gets sicker. I remember we did some statistics and we published them in 2003, and then we did them again in 2013. Now we're going to do them again in 2023. You know what the sad part of all that is? Every 10 years everything is worse. No matter what anybody talks about or does, everybody gets worse. More diabetes, more this, more that. Guess what? When people drink JC Tonic, they do not get ill, or they don't get ill as badly or as often, and sometimes they even get better. That's because this whole body tonic is really something special. So of course you've heard me talk about all this many, many times, and most of this is for new folks on the call, but we want to make sure that everybody does pay it forward. Let's start the new year with a good resolution. And why don't you just talk to two people tomorrow? That's all. Two people. And eventually you will have covered the globe. And the other part of the good news for this year is you can also drink free. Just share it and make sure that you're drinking free. And you'll be able to do that by getting a few bottles out to all those needy people. And to help you along, we have these wonderful conference calls, and the most magnificent success stories are related by our guests. And of course, we have another really wonderful guest. This lady, Faye, has been drinking this tonic for many, many, many years. And I'm going to ask her just to start from the beginning when she started. She stopped and started and so on, and I'm going to let her tell you that because her story has many twists and turns, and she has recovered or eliminated a lot of problems. Just take it over and let it rip and tell everybody everything you possibly can, and I will interrupt you as little as possible. Tell folks what's been going on and how many years it's been and so on.
I talked to you a few years ago, back in the, I'd say, early 90s probably. Early 90s, I was on and off tonic since then. And I knew how good it was. I just, you get lazy, you get where you're all caught up in other finances and different things. And so I sacrificed that. And I was looking back through my pocket calendar, and I had some labs done January 17 of 2020, which indicated that I had a low-functioning thyroid, and the doctor told me that she was going to test me again in a month, and if it was still low, I was going to have to go on a medication for life. And I'm definitely one to buck the system. I don't want medications. I don't have to take medications, and I don't ever want to. So I told her to give me the month, and I had a product that I just ordered in February. Actually, I think we got it February 21st of 2020, which was my mom's birthday. And I had bought it because just prior, probably November, December 2019, I'd had my blood work done, my annual blood work or whatever, and things weren't looking that great, and my hemoglobin was always low and stuff. So I'd ordered this, started taking it, and then the pandemic hit, which bought me a couple months. So I thought, well, if I take 3 ounces a day at least, and then have my blood tested when I can, things will look really good. So it was about May when she tested me again, and sure enough, the thyroid had regulated, no medication, it was fine.
What was the thyroid issue?
It was just the blood test revealed that it was very low functioning, so that was causing some problems. And my weight was 183 pounds at the time. I've always been up and down, and at the time it was 183 pounds. Now, back in 2014, I had to have my second lumbar fusion done. And so I've had 7 total back surgeries. This one, the second one, I was good for 11 years. And so they had done a blood test on me, some blood work done, the labs, before the surgery, and they called me back in to have it again. So I went back in, and sure enough, they sent me a letter in the mail, which I got. Let me see here. If I look at it, it was from the blood bank, and it was August 15th of 2014. And during the routine laboratory screening, they discovered that I had antibody S, as in SAM. And antibody S is a protein that works in the blood, like if you ever get a virus or a bacteria, anything that comes into your body that's foreign, it will treat that way and it will attack it. So you could have miscarriages, you could have all kinds of problems. Well, your health isn't going to really change much unless you actually need a lot of blood. So like if I was in a car accident, if they didn't match my blood, the antibody S, it would think it was foreign, attack it, and it would result in a reaction that could kill me. So I had to carry an identification card around with me saying that I had the antibody S. And I guess 55% of the population have antibody S.
Are they all carrying cards?
I don't know if they are. They may have to. But a lot of people go undetected because they don't ever have the blood work done up, or need blood transfusions. And I had blood transfusions in the past. It was never indicated that I had that. It is, you can get it through transfusion, which obviously I did. So carried that card around with me, tried to do a little research on it and things, asking questions. And then 2015, I had another surgery. I had the fusion done in my cervical spine. All the surgeries I've always had, I've never recovered fully fast or felt good after surgery, right? I had to have surgery January 3rd of this year to redo and extend the fusion in my neck and the cervical spine. Now, I had to have a blood test done, all the lab work up before that. And so I went in on the 22nd of December, had my blood work done. And in the results, it said previously it was indicated that I had antibody S, but no longer detected. I have been taking this tonic for 3 years nonstop with a minimum of 2 ounces a day. And my doctor, when I went to see her for the pre-op physical, said she was baffled. Once you get antibody S, it doesn't go away. You have it for life. I don't have it. So that was remarkable. And then the surgery itself, I had to stay one night in the hospital. And after surgery, I couldn't focus. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I went to sleep. They brought in my brace and put it around my neck. He's like, open your eyes. And so I'm trying to focus and talk and things. And that got done. And then he left the room. And I said to Todd, I said, give me my tonic. I brought the whole bottle with me, to the hospital, my overnight bag. To give me an ounce of it. So he gave me an ounce of it, and after I took it, I was alert. I could stay awake, had no problem focusing, and took it the morning of surgery. They say you can have clear liquids up to 3 hours before surgery. Well, I considered if you have coffee, and I consider that a clear liquid, that the tonic is definitely a clear liquid. So I took it just 3 minutes prior to the window closing of the clear liquids on the day of surgery. But anyway, and then, they wanted me to quit taking vitamins and supplements and all this kind of stuff for a week before surgery, which I did everything because I was taking kratom for pain for, since 2017 when they took me off pain meds. And I kept taking my tonic, of course, which I have been taking it ever since. Even the next morning, the nurse gave it to me. She gave me a little medicine cup with an ounce in it. So,
wow, that's something.
I know, right? And so that was remarkable. I'm doing great. The surgeon told me I would have trouble swallowing for up to 2 weeks after the surgery, that I would have a sore throat from the breathing tube and different things. I had none of that. None of that from day one, none.
So this all started, in 2014 when you started drinking the tonic?
I started drinking the tonic in 2020, February of 2020, and didn't stop. Haven't been sick a day, normal detoxifying, means a headache a little bit once in a while. But of course, the neck problem I had, what he did was he had to fuse a level above the level that was fused in 2015, because I had the cervical fusion done in 2015, year after I had to have the lumbar fusion done, because the disc kept flipping over the top, right? So they had to fuse above. I have degenerative bone disease, hereditary degenerative bone disease. And so I had to have my second one in January. Well, I fell February of last year in the snow. And I mean, I didn't just fall in the snow once. I was doing something I probably shouldn't have, like dragging trash out to the curb and want to go to the curb in the driveway. So I went through the snow and I fell on a knee, stood up, fell on my butt, stood up, fell on both knees, stood up, fell on my butt again, stood up, fell down again. So I thought, well, I thought, wow, I'm not hurting after I fell. 3 days, for 3 days I was fine. And I thought, wow, this tonic is really helping. I don't even feel any pain. Well, after 3 days, I could barely walk for a week. And it just kind of went downhill from last May until I had surgery.
You were drinking 3 ounces a day.
Oh, I was drinking at the minimum 2 ounces a day. And then when I first started to get the thyroid under control, was drinking 3 to 4 ounces a day. And then once I had the blood test done, I went down to 2 and taken a couple trips to Arizona since. And every time I'm there, I ship a bottle out so that I have it at my son's place. I mean, everywhere I go, I take it. If I have to fly somewhere, I'm going to order the bottle and send it there before I get there.
So tell the folks how old you are.
I'll be 65 in May.
So falling down like that in your 60s, most people end up with broken bones.
Oh, yes.
They're in a bad way. Good for you. What about weight? What happened there?
Oh, I'm down to 155 pounds, and I've held that since. So, and if I gain 3 pounds, I start watching again. I also do intermittent fasting. So that really, really, really does help to keep things under control. Yeah, I had surgery, last year on my finger. My middle right finger, I noticed the nail looked like it had a trench all the way down the nail, like there was a canal through it. And as I looked at it closer, I had a cyst under the skin right at the nail bed. And so I went and had it looked at, and, the hand doctor, she's like, well, we need to take that because if it breaks, it'll cause infection. You could lose your finger. And so she said, well, she's going to remove the cyst and the arthritis of the knuckle. And she said it'll probably be 2 years at least before that comes out of that nail grow, and it may not even then. And 4 months later, it was completely gone.
I tell people all the time, if they're doubtful as to whether they're getting results or not when they start drinking the tonic, check their nails. That's the best sign to see if your body is getting healthier by how healthy and strong and fast-growing the nails get. That's fantastic. You see, and that doctor has seen things like that all their life, and they would figure 2 years or more, and here it is in 4 months. Wow.
Yeah, 4 months. And see, and I go have my nails done about every 5 weeks. I get like acrylic over my natural nails to keep them strong and not real long, but real nice.
Yeah.
And so when the gal that does my nails said, oh, yeah, that's going to take a long time to grow out. She couldn't believe it. 4 months later, it was completely healed. It was gone.
So now your nail gal is an ambassador of health, and she's selling the tonic to everybody who she does nails for, right?
I wish she would, but I can't get her to do it yet. I'm still working on her. I am still working on her, believe me. Because she's all about her minerals and stuff and taking minerals. And, it's about the same as a tonic. And I said, no, it's not. I said, you're diabetic now, and you caught COVID twice. And I haven't had it once. I am not diabetic. I'm extremely healthy except for my frame. So, once I become a complete bionic woman, I'll probably be better. But I have to go in and have the lumbar fusion done, which he said would probably, as soon as this heals, almost Tuesday when the staples come out, when I have to schedule that one. But the thing is too, he's going in to fuse the level above and then scrape the arthritis out completely. I have a good and positive feeling is that, arthritis grows back when you have surgeries and things. You get the arthritis back. I don't think I will. I really don't think I will. I mean, look what it did to my blood.
You sound like you're in the pink.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that being on this tonic for as long as I have been and not missing a dose and continuing it, that once the arthritis is removed like he wants to do, I don't think it will grow back. I really don't.
When you started drinking this tonic many, many years ago, you just went up to the 3 ounces in 2020.
Well, no, I was on and off of it prior to 20. And since 2020, I haven't missed a dose.
Yeah. Now you decided to be serious about it. That's what we try and ask everyone to do. Make it a religion every single day. And they'll have much better health, and they'll recuperate like you did from anything they have to go through.
Right. And the environment we're in, the toxins in our foods, the chemicals in our foods. I mean, you can't eat healthy all the time. It's impossible. And so your body needs to detoxify. And
Yeah.
you told me a long time ago, back in the early 90s, I met you, I believe, first time at a conference in Cedar Rapids. You said that our body is like a toilet. The more you put in and you don't flush it, the more problems you're going to have, and it's going to overflow.
And that's exactly what happens with so many people. They just get stuffed up, and it poisons the whole body.
Exactly. You have to detoxify the body that way. And it not just detoxifies. The nutrients that you're getting from it, the oxygenation. Think about this. After I took it, it oxygenated my blood. I had the oxygen I needed to be awake, to, be focused. Just taking that ounce after surgery in the evening like that, it just, boom, I snapped right out of it.
Well, tell that to your nail gal and everybody else you run into, and we hope that everybody listening takes to heart what you're saying, because what the main message is, everybody, is that if you boost the dose or take enough of it to keep your body super healthy, you can get through virtually anything. And I like that story about the antibody no longer being in your blood. That goes a long way to telling people how it will clean up the blood supply. Do that, that's miraculous.
Yeah, and I had fibromyalgia. The symptoms of that are so much less. When I would take a shower, it felt like a million bee stings all over my body, and I don't have that. My hands don't hurt from arthritis. Even my daughter, who's complaining that her hands hurt and arthritis, and I can't get her to get on it, but eventually, maybe. I don't have that. I'm almost 65 years old. It's gone now.
So 65, in 2020 you were 62 or so, and it took you 40 years to become a believer.
I know, right?
So
well, hey, it's better.
So your daughter follows in your footsteps.
I hope so. I've got a son who's on it, and he knows the benefits of it.
I keep telling the story of a family member who I tried for 30 years to get to drink it. She said, go on. She's an RN and she knows it all about the medicine and the medications. And I saw her for the first time in many years. A year ago, I was 83. And she looked at me and she said, "Are you still drinking that junk?" I said, "I'm still drinking that junk." She said, "Holy cow. I want some and I want to start right now. If you look like at 83 years old, I want to be on it." And she's been drinking it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So keep working on your daughter. You'll get her.
I will get her. But, in surgery even, I had the stitches in my finger, and, you're supposed to keep it dry and all that. And every day I took the bandage off, and I took my dropper and dropped the tonic all over the finger and soaked it and then wrapped it back up. It healed really fast. And a couple times I put the tonic on a Q-tip and went around it. I have staples in my neck, and went around the staples and stuff, and then, got the bandage back on and kept it dry. But things heal a lot faster when you cut yourself or you have a sore. So it heals really fast, a lot faster.
That's also true. It works that way as well, and people forget to pass that message along, so I'm glad you brought it up. Folks, dab it on. It may sting for a few seconds, but that's okay. Put a bunch of it on your cut. If you burn yourself at the stove or whatever, and keep putting it on all day long, rubbing it in, you'll see how fast it works.
Drop it in your eyes for dry eyes. It works for dry eyes. It's just remarkable.
Faye, I thank you so very much for starting our New Year call off with a bang, and we hope everybody takes to heart what you've mentioned. Thyroid, antibody S, fibromyalgia, holy smokes, weight, stitches, wounds, operations.
Hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin. Yeah, wow. Thank you so very much for coming to the call.
Thank you for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it. And Happy New Year to everyone. Keep taking your tonic. Spread the word.
That's it. Spread the word. Pay it forward. Thanks, Faye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So there you are, folks. Another great call and starting off our 2023. Don't forget, everybody, whoever volunteers to do this call, there's a free bottle of JC Tonic that we add to your next order. So come and help us out, because these are the stories that keep people going. Whatever Faye said tonight, somebody is going to listen to this call and say, "No kidding. Well, if it worked for her or for that, maybe it'll work for me or my mom or my dad or my loved one, my friend or my workmate." So keep in mind all the people you know, they're all in poor health and they're all sick and tired of being sick and tired. And one of these calls may be just the way to get them to say, "Holy cow, why not me too?" Because in the final analysis, folks, the most famous words that ever crossed the threshold of this fine organization were the 4 little words, what if it works? So tell that to people when they are naysaying you. Just tell them, Mary, what if it works? John, what if it works? And you'll be surprised when people hear that, they might think, maybe it will work for me, why not? So go forward, pay it forward. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Have a great everything, and don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce.
Durac Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and or function of your body in various ways. But it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be representative of everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Durac Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.